All right, so if you're updating from an old version of the IMA bypass code, the pinout has changed. We had a new version for lean burn in some cars, and it required us to use some additional functionality in the hardware. We had to change the pinout, long story short there. And we've now kind of back updated the old code to work with the new code. It was just one line of change, but at the end of the day, if you do end up needing to replace wires you previously cut, you can grab those wires from other connectors off your harness. So you've got that whole mass of harness that you cut away because you only use 3 of the 8 or 9 connectors, how many there are. So at the end of the day, if you've cut some of the wires in the DC-DC connector or the upper and lower C connector, they're actually fairly easy to replace. We're going to start with the DC-DC. How that connector works is it has a pin, a little male pin that sticks up in here that prevents it from coming out. And so what we have to do is bypass that. This one's not as easy to do as the upper and lower connectors. The first thing you do, you take a flathead, and this flathead is a little bit on the large side. Really what you want is a flathead that's small, that can fit between the 2 plastic sidewalls on the DC-DC connector. So you can see that this guy does not fit. You can still do it with the bigger one, but the smaller one is much easier. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your flathead and you're going to just pop these guys out. There's a little detent here. You can see the little latches you're opening up, and then this is actually a single injection molded part, which is actually pretty neat. So let's say we have cut this guy here down. Obviously, if you cut it down, you're not going to be able to pull on it. And so what you're going to have to do instead is either pull here, or you can actually just push from the inside. So let's say we need to replace that blue-orange wire. There's a little male edge. It's plastic. You can see it in there. You're going to try and pull that down. So you might see how you can pull that down. This one doesn't have the actual terminal in there, so I can show you that. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull that tab down, and then while that tab is down, you can take another flathead and just pull the pin right out. So no damage to the pin. You can see that in my figuring out how to do this, I had to damage a few pins first before I figured out how it works. See how that has a dimple in it? It still works. So if you don't have a small screwdriver like this, you can just kind of bend the heck out of this thing until it comes up. But it's really easier to actually pull in and down. So you can see now that this plastic finger, you can actually see the little male nub that's right there. And so it's just right between there, so you can pull the pin out. And then to put the new pin in, I'm going to just put the same one back in, but you'll of course grab this off of another connector. Just slide the pin in, it locks right in, and you're going to slide and lock that connector back on. So that's DC-DC. Next up, we've got the upper and lower C connectors. These are easy to get in. There's a couple of male extrusions on either side, lifting it off. Once you have them off, the way this connector works is there's a hole through it. You can see right there. And below that hole, which is right here, there's a plastic tab. So you're going to just take your screwdriver and you're going to just push it through, pull it out. So you see right now that this pin will not come out. To get it out, you just take your flathead, turn it sideways here, and you just stick your flathead in, push down. So stick it in, push down. Pins come right out. Now, of course, if your pin's cut, you can just do this in one motion here. You can stick it in. I do this at an angle so you can see it. Stick it in, push down, pull down, out. So you can come through here real quickly and just take all the pins out if you want. So if you don't want to cut the pins in the first place, you could do that as well. So you can see all these come out, taking the whole top side of the connector off. Reload them however you want. Now keep in mind that if you use the new wire, and the pinout's not going to be the same color-wise. So you need to actually use the pinout on the connector if you're going to use other wires. And my better recommendation is to go grab a wire. Say we have this yellow and red. Go find yellow and red somewhere else on that connector you cut off. It goes somewhere. But I don't have it here because I just want to grab the nuts. Let's go for something easier. Blue, black. Now you get the point.